live. I'm here, but I'm not. How crazy is that? This is the voice of Simon folding up his pieces of paper for his story time because some people sent them really late. Well, that's not true. It kind of is. But it's also true that I've been crazy busy today. This is my third presentation so far today. And it's only 1:03. How crazy is that? Oh, you need to see me. All right, here we are. Not just a talking head. I mean, a talking piece of card. I'm here. I'm with you. Whew, what a day. So I was. Reason why I'm a little bit late is because I've been printing these out because I've been on. I did a performance right before this, and then here's my hat. And then right before that, I was recording. I was editing and recording a what's the word I'm looking for? A storytelling session, and I need to get that out this afternoon as quickly as possible. And then I got something at 3. It's crazy time. How's everybody doing? You all right? Deep breath. Deep breath. Let's do that all together, folks. It was a dark and stormy night. No, it wasn't. So, have we got any little people? I don't know. I haven't even figured out what stories I was going to tell because everything's falling down. It's a mad day today. I tell you. Ugh. All right, you stay there. Don't fall down. Today's story. Hey, Barbara, we have got to get together at some point. We really do because it's silly. We're in the same state. Michael, hey, Sarah. I know I usually got a tie on. Don't mock. Let me get back to my list of stories that I've already told because I don't want to repeat stuff. I'm going to tell you a story, which is a new story to me. A new story. Shh, don't tell anyone. So, I am here. Hey. Hey, Liam. I'm glad you do like my storytelling. I didn't see any pictures from you today, though. But having said that, I was really, really busy. And if I failed to get the pictures from you and you did send some, I will use them next week, okay? I promise. I'm sorry about that. I do. So last week, I said that there were some pictures missing then as well, but I have pictures here. So if you don't see a picture here, it's because it's been a crazy day today, and there'll be next Wednesday is when you'll see your picture, okay? So I really do appreciate you sending the pictures. I really do. You have no idea how happy it makes me. Even if at like 5 to 1 I see some new ones coming in, it's kind of like, I'm going to print these out. So thank you. Appreciate it. I'll take my hat off now. No, I won't because, it's COVID-19 hair. Yes, it indeed. So this story is a story that I have been working on, especially for the Hans Christian Andersen Storytelling Center Summer Festival. And you can find out more about this at 5 o'clock tonight if you go to the HCA Story Center on Facebook, or you could also type in Hans Christian Andersen Storytelling Center in Facebook, and you want to go to the one in New York City. They are starting a festival this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's going to run all the way through until the 26th of May. Every single Saturday, people are going to be telling Hans Christian Andersen stories from all over the world. These are storytellers from all over the world, not just from here in the States. People from Denmark are telling stories. And also at some point there's going to be a story that's been recorded with Diane Walkstein. Now, Diane Walkstein sadly passed away a number of years ago, but she ran the Hans Christian Andersen Storytelling Festival until she passed away. And so we have a recording of her, which will be shown during this festival. So go to the website, their Facebook page, or to their website, and look up the details, because there's a cracking cast of players who are going to be telling these Hans Christian Andersen stories. But anyway, here's a story for you. I hope you like it. There were once... You thought I'd frozen then, didn't you? I was trying to think of the story. It had gone from my mind and had to come back. There were once a baron who had a couple of sons who were very, very, very smart. And the eldest, he knew all about Latin. He knew the Latin dictionary inside out, backwards, forwards. He read the news every day. He was wicked smart. And the middle boy, he was also smart. He was very smart too. He was into politics though. He always read the local governances, all the rules and the regulations of his town, of his city, of his region. He was very much involved in all that kind of stuff. He quite often was a spoke in the wheel of local politics. And they'd heard about this princess, the princess of their kingdom. She was going to get married. Now, here's the thing about this. See, the princess, a lot of people thought she was willful, but she wasn't willful. No, she wasn't willful at all. She was strong-minded. That's a good thing. And she was a little different to most people. There was a fold in her page that most other people didn't have, which made her a lot of fun to be with. And she realized when she reached a certain age that her parents wanted to marry her off. And she didn't want to be married off. Well, that's what happened in these long, long, long ago days, you see. Your parents would be like, yeah, let's get her married, right? Or they look at the guy and, yeah, let's get her married. Well, they can marry this person over here. That's what parents did in those days. Can you believe that? It wasn't like, oh, my darling, I love you so much. Will you marry me? Well, yes, I will. It wasn't like that at all. No, it was like, you're going to get married. And they're like, wow, but he wears his trousers. No. And this princess, she was, like I said, she was wonderful. And she was like, I don't really want to marry yet, or maybe not at all. And so she decided to look after her parents by asking them if they're going to find somebody for her to marry. Could it please be someone who could put their words together well? Someone who was interesting. She was bored with all these princes and the sons of dukes and lords. They just, it's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. She wanted someone that could put their words together, somebody that had something interesting to say. And these two boys, they'd heard about this princess. And the boy that could speak Latin knew the dictionary inside out, and the boy that knew politics inside out. They're like, oh yes, we can wax beautifully. And so they went to their father and said, oh father, could we have a couple of horses? Because we wish to marry the princess. And the father said, yes. And they went down to the barn to get these two horses. The eldest son, he was given this big, beautiful black stallion. And the middle boy, he was given this beautiful white steed. And then there was Hans, the third brother, the youngest brother. And he's like, what are you boys you look all dressed up for a party. Where are you going? Well, we're going to win the hand of the princess. Hans hadn't heard. He brushed the straw off his clothes. Well, I want to get married. I'll get married to the princess. Actually, Hans, you need to be able to string a sentence together. I can string a sentence. I can talk, or I can put words together, Dad, can I have a horse? But there was no extra horse. And his two older brothers rode off, laughing. Well, Hans looked around. Well, my goat! I'll ride my goat! My goat, he's just about big, and he had a big goat, you see. And so he climbed on the back of his goat and trotted after his brothers. His feet were barely off the ground. And eventually he came upon his brothers. They had slowed down and were just trotting on their horses. And along came Hans on his goat. And he caught up with them. Brothers, how are you? Here we are together. And they looked around and they just, They didn't talk to him. They were practicing their poetry. They were practicing their governmental speeches. They were practicing their Latin. They were practicing all sorts of things. They had no time for, what's this? Hans looked down. On the side of the road, there was a dead crow, and he lifted it up, and its wings fell open. He held it up by its feet. I bet the princess would like this. Yeah, that's not too long dead. Doesn't smell yet. And they turned and looked. You're going to give that dead crow, to the princess? Why not? She might like a dead crow. And he opened up his bag and shoved the dead crow in it. Go ahead, that's all the easier for us, said the two brothers. And they galloped off for a little ways, leaving Hans in the dust. But Hans on his little goat Down the path he went, down the road he went, and he eventually caught up with his brothers again. "Hey up, brothers! Ah, we're all together again!" But they didn't talk to him. They were too busy putting oil around their lips and peppermint and lavender on their tongues, so when the words that they spoke came out, they came out easily and perfumed. Yeah, that's what I thought. And Hans, trot, 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 trot. Whoa, what's that? He looked down and there was a wooden shoe, a clog that was on the ground. He jumped down and picked it up. "Wow, look at this." His brothers turned around. "There's no other." "Oh, I know, but maybe I'll find its twin further along the road." And he put it into his bag with a dead crow. And his brothers shook their head. "He's whatever." And they rode off, and the dust rose up, and Hans climbed back on his goat, chuggled off after them. Well, eventually it was getting late in the afternoon, and eventually Hans caught up once more with his brothers. "Hey ho, here we go! We're all together again, this is grand!" They just looked and turned back and shook their hands. "Hans, do you really have to come with us?" "Oh, I want to. What's that? What is that?" Hans climbed off the goat. He went to the edge of the road. His brothers stopped and watched as he scooped in his hands some of the mud from the side of the road. "What is this?" said Hans. "It's mud from the side of the road." "No, this is the finest clay ever." "Oh, I'm going to take this. Are you going to give that to the princess as well?" "I think I might. She might like this clay." And he scooped up this stuff and put it into his pockets. His brothers, they shook their heads and rode on. They galloped and galloped and galloped, and they got to the castle a good full hour before Hans got there. Well, the place was packed. Everyone from the town was in the castle grounds. They're looking at all these knights and princes and dukes and lords and their sons, all lined up in rows of 6, columns of 6, one after each other, and they're all pressed together tightly. The thought was that they if they were tightly together, they wouldn't fight. It seemed to be working. Odd, but seemed to be working. There were people pointing at, "Oh, maybe that person's going, maybe the princess," and there were other people that were like, "The princess isn't going to marry anyone." And you might think they were right, because gentleman after gentleman, young man after young man came out of the great hall with their head hanging. But the 2 older boys, they were practicing their words. When Hans rode up behind them on his goat, "Hello, brothers, we're here together again! Woohoo! Hello, hello!" He waved and shouted at people that were near him. "Stop doing that, Hans. You're drawing attention." "Yeah, but it's a nice day. It's a beautiful day out. The sun's out. There's flowers growing, and there's people with nice clothes. Yeah, hello! I'm going to marry the princess." "You're embarrassing us. Stop it." "Oh, stop it yourself. I'm having fun." Woo! There was Hans, enjoying himself. And then it was the eldest brother's chance to go into the great hall, to put his words together, to be not boring, to talk to the princess. Well, when he walked in, he was hit by this warmth. At first, he thought that he was just sweating because he was nervous. But no, he was sweating because it was baking hot in there. There was this huge stove, this great black stove that was almost red. It was so hot. "By Jove," said the oldest boy, it's very warm in here, isn't it?" "Yes," said the princess. "My father is cooking bouillon." "Bouillon? Poulon," she said. "She's cooking poulon." "Poulon? Well, your Majesty, your princess. Oh, it's hello." Another one that can't string a sentence together. "Thank you for coming. Goodbye." "Oh," he dropped his head and walked out, looking at the women that were sitting around, writing on parchment with ink. These people, see, they were there to write down every single thing that happened. And then that was going to be published in the newspaper the very next day. Well, the middle boy went in. He had a cap on, and he walked into that hot room. He's like, "By golly, it's so hot in here." He's like, "Oh, It's very, very hot in here. Why is it so hot? Oh, my father's cooking poulin, said the princess once more. Your father's cooking what? But, your Majesty, your Highness, it's very nice to... Oh, bother. Hello, he said. And there's another one that can't string a sentence together. The middle brother walked out, head lowered, just like everybody else. And then Hans trotted in, on his go. By golly, there's a temperature in here. Hello, your Highness, your Princessness, how are you doing? Well, I'm doing very well, she said. Why is it so hot in here? It's a nice, beautiful day outside. Oh, what you got cooking in the oven? Oh, my father, he's cooking poulin. Oh, nice bit of chicken. You know what? I've got a dead crow. Maybe I could bake it in your oven. And he reached into his bag and he pulled out the dead crow. The wings... Well, that's a very unusual dish. Well, I suppose so, but we don't have any pans. Well, that's all right. I think I got my own. And he rummaged around in his bag and pulled out that single clog. He hadn't found the twin on the road, and he shoved the crow into it. The princess began to smile. That's a very unique dish, she said. Do you have any sauce to go with it? Well, actually, I do. And he reached into his pockets and pulled out the mud and dumped it on the dead crow's feathers, and then said, shall I put it in the oven now? The princess nodded. As Hans looked around at all these people, he handed the shoe over to the princess. You know, you've strung a whole sentence together. You're the first one to do it. You and I are going to be married. Oh, that's fabulous, said Hans. Just so that you know, these scribes here, they're all writing down everything that's said and done in here. Oh, really? Yes, and that's the head scribe there. He doesn't like anything that I say or do. Well, I better say hello to him. And Hans bowed down low. But when he stood up, in his hand was a great big pile of the finest clay, and he hurled it at the head scribe, and it splattered on his chest. The princess looked at Jack. You know, I didn't know how to do that. You shall have to teach me, and I will love to teach you. And arm in arm, they went to the princess's parents. And they were married. And I can't imagine a couple of people and how much fun they would be having. And I don't care if they lived happily ever after, because they were definitely having a blast. And that's the story of Hans the Dullard. Actually, it's not, but we'll call it that for now because I got the name wrong. But I played it off well, I think, don't you? So, we got all sorts of wonderful people here together. We got the Coburn family. Hi, Stephanie's here. Yay, Sarah's here. Barbara, we know Barbara was here. And my friend Papa Joe, he's also here. This is a great crowd, and I'm so happy that you're joining me today. And I think, what time is it? It's 21, so that's quite a long story. And what I really want to do is get to the kids. And you saw me shuffling these up earlier. I'm going to shuffle them up again, because I don't want to know which one is whose and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to put them into my hat, and I'm going to pick one out, because that's what we do. Once upon a time, so very long ago, there was a house designed by Mr. Finley in South Carolina, aged 8. This was a very nice house. It had a thatched roof and everything. And inside this house, I hope, Ethan in Fairfax, Virginia sent this picture. Inside this house, people were having breakfast. You can see right here, there's one person right there. They got their knife and fork in their hand. You see that? And... oh, I think I got a story about this. I was told what this was, but I'm going to change it. Sorry, Ethan. And they were having ham and eggs for breakfast. You see there's a couple of eggs right there, and there's a piece of bacon. Oh, yeah. They were having this wonderful, wonderful breakfast, chowing down on the food, and they thought, we should set out on an adventure because, on a day like today, I don't know what it's like where you are, but here the sun is out. It was about an hour ago, 86 degrees out. So I guess it must be about 90 by now. Maybe even higher. Who knows? So that the two people inside that house, after having their breakfast, because you always have to have breakfast, right? They set out. And one of them was Cowboy Jubal. Cowboy Jubal. I hope he's here today. He sent this picture last week and I wasn't able to print it out. This is one of those pictures I was telling you about. And he was, yes, you've guessed it, he was a cowboy. And so there he was with his spurs clinking and shining in the sun. He's got his lasso out. Now, I've got to tell you a little story. My granddad, who was born in Lancashire in the north of England, left England to become a farmer. And for a while, he was a cowboy. It's true. I actually have his spurs upstairs in my office. They're tiny little spiky spurs, but they are spiky spurs. He was a cowboy. And in my hometown of Worcester, it's got to the point now it floods every year. But every once in a while, when I was a kid growing up, it would flood really badly. Now, near my grandfather's house where he used to live, he passed away a long time ago when I was 16. There was the whole area. There was a dairy farm, right? And there were all these cows, and the River Severn, it flooded one year. And some of the cows out in the field had a hard time trying to get back. In fact, one of them got swept away in the river. And my granddad, he knew how to lasso. And so they were able to get him a rope, and he used a makeshift lasso, and he caught the cow, and they were able to rescue it and stop it from drowning, which is a very cool story. But this story is about Jubal Cowboy. And he and his friend, does he have a friend? Yes, he does have a friend. His best friend ever, called Simon the Sloth. Simon the Sloth came with him. They had a very, very, very slow journey. Step after step they made as they travelled along. Now Jubal, he was a bit like me. He was a bit a little bit hyper. He was a little bit let's go, come on. And so he lassoed Simon the Sloth, threw Simon the Sloth on his shoulder, and started to make his way. And on and on and on they travelled until they came to this fox. This beautiful 3D fox. Oh, you can't see it, sorry. There he is. There's a fox right there. Three-dimensionally fox. Origamied fox. And Jubal and the Sloth, they stopped and they were like, hello. Well, Jubal's from Texas. Now, I'm not sure if I can do a Texas accent, but I'm going to have a go. How do there, Mr. Fox? How you doing? And the fox, oh, I'm doing very well, thank you. He came from England, you see. Very, very, very well. I was just about to have tea. Would you like to join me for tea? And the Sloth was like, is it tea time already? Didn't we just have breakfast? Yeah, but let's have some tea, It'll give us some energy for the journey. And by golly, you need some energy. I don't think I need so much energy as you. Oh, yes, I know, but we're going to. And so the fox and Jubal, with the Sloth on his shoulder, went inside the house. And Jubal told them a story. The fox told them a story. The fox told them that there was this tree not far away that had poison in it. Yes, it was a poisonous tree. And you know why the tree was poisonous? Let me tell you why the tree was poisonous. The tree was poisonous because there was a cat that was poisonous, and it was going around poisoning all the wells. And so the tree had decided to poison the cat, which is a bit sad. But Ethan, he's like me. He has a wonderfully dark imagination. And they thought, well, we can't let the cat be poisoned by the poison tree. Maybe we can find the cat and get the poison out of the cat. And so that's what they decided to do. So the fox and Jubal and Simon the Sloth, they made their way out after tea, and they followed the trail of the fox was making, and they followed it and followed it and they followed it until they found the poison cat. And there was a poison cat. Meow. Meow. You sure that's the poison cat? Asked Jubal, who decided to not do his Texas accent anymore. Oh yes, that's absolutely the poison cat. Now, how do we get the poison out of the cat? Let me tell a story to the cat, is what he was trying to say. And so the sloth slowly made its way over to the cat. And because the sloth was so slow in getting there, the cat was just like, what the heck is that? I've never seen anything move so slow. Even a snail moves faster than that. And it kept cleaning itself and watching, and the sloth slowly stopped. And the sloth started telling a story to the cat. And the cat listened and listened and listened until the cat fell asleep. And when the cat fell asleep, they talked to the poison tree, which is just down the road. This is the poison tree right here that was done by Maggie in Vermont. And the poison plant said, well, if you put some of my petals, which are not poisonous, into the cat's tongue, they will absorb all of the poison. And so that's what they did. They took some of the petals from the poisonous plant, and they plonked those petals in the paws of the poisonous cat. And then they moved the paws into the mouth of the cat, because they figured that if they tried to do it themselves, the cat might bite them. But if the poisonless petals of the plant were on the paws of the cat, then the cat wouldn't bite down quite so hard on itself. And they put its paw into its mouth, and it's just like any cute thing. It started there, and it sucked on those leaves, and it was the antidote to the poison. The poison left the cat, and the cat woke up, and everybody was living in this alternative universe. The alternative universe of my brain. That's where they were living. So, there you go. That's this week's stories. Please send pictures in. I'm not sure if I have any hidden away somewhere on my computer that I haven't found yet, but I should go and look. I'm guessing that Stephanie might have sent me some, because she and Liam do send me pictures to tell stories with. Thank you so much for joining with me. I hope you enjoyed today's story. I shall be back next Wednesday, full of vimmer and vigor and all that kind of stuff. And with some folk and fairy tales. I'll have 2 shorter ones to tell next week. I should be better prepared. Like I said, it's been a mad week this week. And enjoy the rest of your week. And isn't holiday coming up soon? Let me know if you want me to continue doing this. And I'll keep doing this for as long as I can. All right? Because I really enjoy doing this. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for sending in the pictures. Thanks to Ariana, my niece in Finningley, which is just outside of Doncaster in the north of England. Thanks to Finley, aged 8, for his wonderful house. I love that house, by the way. I do have to tell you, I love the house. That's very cool. We used to live in a house a bit like that. And to Ethan, for Ethan's bacon and eggs. And Ethan also... No, that's Emma. Where's the other Ethan picture? There was another Ethan. The poison tree. There it is, the poison tree and the poison cat. These are great pictures. So thank you for those, Ethan. And thank you to Emma for her fabulous fox, who had a fabulous accent. And thank you to Maggie out in Vermont for her poisonous plant, because that is also absolutely stellar. And thanks to Jubal, all the way from Texas, lassoing cowboy. It's lucky he was around to save everybody and carry that sloth on his shoulders, eh? Anyway, look after yourselves. Until next time, be well. Bye.